Welcome to the Fighting on Film podcast, the podcast all about classic and obscure war movies, from the Normandy landings to the days of chivalry and swords. If it's been captured on film, we're going to try and cover it. I'm Robbie of RM Military History.
I'm Matthew Moss of Historical Firearms and the Armourer's Bench. Hello and welcome back to Fighting on Film. This is our first episode of 2023. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
We hope you had a restful festive season and that you enjoyed our special episode with Jeff Dyer on the iconic Where Eagles Dare. Firstly, massive thank you to everyone that donated to our Where Eagles Care fundraiser for Crisis. We raised, as of recording today on New Year's Eve, we raised £150, which is fantastic.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Yeah, it's the second year we've done it, and thanks to everyone who's given and just, even just sort of even looked at the thing, because we like to give back as well.
I think when you've got a community as nice as ours, it's nice to just, bring everyone together and try and raise a little bit of money just to help people that need it,
because it's been a hard year for a few people, isn't it? In the news and all that. It's horrible, but we like to think that we've brought some cheer as well. And yeah, before we begin like our look back at 2022, just a huge thank you to everyone who supported us, listened, shared the show, you told their friends, however you've supported us this year.
Massively helpful.
Not only if you're a patron, and obviously thanks to the patrons for their monetary support, but just everyone in the community. We've just gone past 6,000 followers on Twitter. We've got a few hundred on Facebook. We've got a few hundred on TikTok and Instagram. And it's amazing to have this. It's amazing this war movie fighting on film community that we've sort of galvanized and created is amazing. We love every day. We just love chatting to you and sharing our love of the genre.
It was great. Sharing the what war movies were coming up on the day and seeing what everyone thought of them, and that was great.
It's like the most war movie rich period of the year, isn't it? There's something,
it is, and that's weird.
Something strangely festive about them, isn't there?
It's bizarre. I don't know whether it's the same in other countries. I know other countries like Canada do put certain war movies on at like that time of the year, but it's kind of weird that the UK it's Christmas, it's festive, let's get Zulu on.
Exactly. I watched really on Christmas Day.
Christmassy.
Yeah, like I sat and watched The Great Escape with my mum and dad, like on Christmas Day.
And that's peak Christmas war movie.
And I was like, okay, yeah, fair enough. Like, this is normal behaviour, I guess. Like, it's just like busman's holiday for me, but it was it's always fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe we should kick off. We were just talking about initially this episode is going to be like top 5 war films, but we sort of evolved to look back of the year. So we kicked off the year with Sea of Sand. I think it was like January the 6th or something, and then a few weeks later, me and Matt, I wouldn't say discovered. We didn't discover this movie. It's obviously been out since the 40s, but it was new to us.
Yeah, it was new to us, completely new, which is rare. Like sometimes we'll do a film where it's like, oh, I haven't seen that, but I've heard of it. But this was like completely not heard of it.
This was like a bolt out of the blue film. And we found 1943's Nine Men, an Ealing studio film. And that episode came out on January the 19th. You can go back and listen to the entire back catalogue on fightingonfilm.com or Spotify as well, or any of your podcasting apps. But it's just become such an important film to us, isn't it? Like a really...
Yeah. It's a film that we didn't expect to be as amazing as it is. And it's a really interesting... Within the context of the period it was made, it's a propaganda film. It's also like a really nice character piece. It's a last stand movie.
Yeah.
There's some amazing boys anti-tank rifle action in there. So when we were trying to come up with like 5 each, we both immediately picked Nine Men.
Yeah.
It's the first one.
Yeah, we did. It's like the first thing we thought of. And obviously this year is going into its 80th anniversary, I think.
I think that's right.
Yeah. So that's really interesting. And it's just a bit of a hidden gem. It's like a bit of a cult film with the podcast now, like if you know type thing. It's only an hour long. And you
always recommended it.
Yeah, you can find it quite readily online if you do some searching, and it's on DVD as well. And it's just a really interesting little British war film that was made for like a pittance on a Welsh beach, which you
Yeah.
can go and do. And shout out to listener Seri Thomas, because he said if we're ever in the area, we're going to do a 9 men beach tour. And I think maybe in the
Yeah.
summer we should do
That'd be good. That'd be good.
maybe to
Yeah.
coincide. This is an idea.
Go on.
Coincide with the 80th like premiere release date, 80th year. We do a fourth road trip to that beach in the summer, and we all go and find the locations. Maybe make it like an on location episode. That would be fun, wouldn't it?
That'd be great. And then we rebuild the hut.
Oh my god!
And hire a boys anti-tank rifle.
Get the KDs on. Get the leading fields out. That'd be cool. Do some on-set pictures. That'd be amazing. So yeah, I mean that was that would be something if we do that. But anyway, moving on. So Matt, what was your second pick for something that leaped out to you?
My second pick was The Pier in Film episode we did, which is one of our specials where we look at something alley that appears in like numerous films.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that one because it's obviously something close to my heart.
I think you were the guest for that one, weren't you?
I was the guest for that one, yes.
That was the easiest guest wrangling I've ever done.
Yeah.
I know a guy.
I still haven't received a check for that, but I'm sure it's coming.
It's in the post. The strikes have got that one in the post, man. It'll turn up sometime.
It's gone missing in some mailbag somewhere. But no, yeah, I really enjoyed that one because it's such a and there's new films that keep popping up that I'm not familiar with, like as well, where it's that's part of the fun of it, and I like that format that we do for those specials because we did one with Rich as well about the Vickers gun.
Yeah, we did. That was good,
and we'll do some more of those this year. I think we're well overdue for doing one about Bedfords.
Yes, we are. It's that'd be difficult. It'd be difficult because you've got millions of movies there.
You just have to pick your best Bedford films.
Yeah, I think that episode's just sort of like guest centric. Like who's the renowned expert on that certain thing that we can bring in, so that they're very as and when we can type episodes. We've got some ideas in the back burner for 2023 for that one. So my second pick for the top 10 is Yesterday's Enemy from 1959. We did that on March 16th, and we had the head of the Library and Archive from Horror Film, Marcus Hearn, with us, and it was so interesting hearing about how that movie was devised and how it was born out of the furore and the controversy over the camp at Blood Island that was released a few before, and they were saying it was glorified war crimes, it glorified like being a prisoner of war, and it was such an odd movie, and it didn't get received very well, and there's backlash. And then hearing that Yesterday's Enemy is born from that was really interesting. If you're a fan of Hammer horror films, but you want to learn about their non-horror output, I'd recommend that episode. Just as if you're a fan of cinema, and
our Steel Bayonet episode as well.
Yeah, and Steel Bayonet. So
which is another like war movies. Firm favorite. I love that film.
Yeah, it's so good, isn't it? Like, that's an honourable mention. And I think as well, it's possibly Stanley Baker's best work, even over Zulu, because I think he kind of peaked by the mid-60s. Really, he was just waning, and Jack Hawkins was as well. That's such an odd movie for me. You've got these two big 50s stars. Sorry to segue into Zulu, but you've got these two big 50s stars in Hawkins and Baker, ushering in Michael Caine, who's going to be a mega star. It's such an odd film. I can't wait to do that. And maybe this year.
Nigel Green's at his peak though as well, because he's got Ipcress File.
Oh yeah, of course.
Zulu.
Yeah.
And then a couple of others after that. But yeah, I know what you mean there. I know what you mean.
It's an interesting movie. But no, for me, it's Baker's best because it's him at the peak of his powers. He's playing an officer who seems like he's come up through the ranks. He's not a typical officer class. That's what I like about that movie as well. You've got Gordon Jackson being an NCO like he always was. Just Leo McKern playing a war correspondent. There's loads of people in it. It's one of my most favourite films. And I always recommend it to people and go, you've got stiff upper lip films, loads of them in the 50s. This one is a little bit different. It portrays British soldiers being a lot less clipped. It's almost I think it's a better version of Long, the Short, and the Tall.
It's very similar. It has that essence to it, doesn't it?
It really does. And shout out to Rob Lyman. He joined us for Long, the Short, and the Tall this year
Yes,
too,
that
didn't
was a
he?
good episode. Really enjoyed that one.
Matt, your third choice.
My third choice is another special we did. It's War in Non-War Movies.
Yeah, that was in
which,
March as well, I think.
yeah, some spring ones there. Maybe April, I can't remember. Anyway,
It's been a long year.
well, we did over like 50 episodes, so
Yeah.
I mean, but that one I really like because it's something a little bit different, and it was interesting to look into various films that we don't really consider as war movies, but have some really impactful scenes in them that are revolve around conflict. And that's always really interesting because we're not specifically a war movie podcast. We are, but we always said that we'd be happy to branch out and do films that involve conflict in different ways, not in the classic war movie sense.
It's a catch-all term, isn't it? We weren't.
Yeah.
You know, conflict is such a huge thing, and it's not just represented in the films it's represented in. You know that it's not. It's more nuanced than that, like it always is.
What have you got next? What's your next pick?
My next pick was, so I think we probably both got this one because it was such a fascinating like hour and a half. We talked to Jim Dowdle in June, the legendary
which is
stuntman.
insane. Yeah.
And Matt, this is an interesting story about that episode. Matt had sort of, because we have production meetings before or after every now and then, and Matt had gone, oh, I found this chap, Jim Dowdle. He's been in Empire Strikes Back. He's been in Enemy at the Gates.
Most of the Bond films.
Ryan, a lot of the Bond films, yeah. And I was like, I think I found a contact. And I was like, oh, brilliant. So it was Christmas. I think that was Christmas 21. And as always, things just get lost. They fall through the ether and whatever.
I contacted him and we talked in the early 22 spring.
Yeah.
And we talked, and he was off doing another film. He was working on a film at the time.
He like Norway or somewhere like that. Like
yeah,
in Scandinavia.
He was somewhere cold filming.
Yeah.
And he said it's not a war film. And I was like, never mind. So yeah, I contacted him, and it kind of got left by the wayside because we were busy with other guests getting those onto the calendar, and also he was away filming. So it kind of sat for a little bit, but what a great guest!
Oh, I know. I
was so pleased we managed to make it happen and get him on.
I mean, there was so much as well that didn't make the edit, which is even more fascinating. But it was just learning about like how you drive a tank while liquid flames pouring onto you, and how you even the stuff that you did like on traffic road accident information films, like how you make a car roll and how you do that and how you fall off a bike and things like that. It's just things you don't ever hear about. We did Charles Maines 2 years ago, and we did sound engineering, and that was fascinating. But then you get someone like Jim on, and you're just like, someone has to do this. It's fascinating stuff. I mean, if you haven't listened to it, please do. It's one of our all-time favorites.
I love that episode. That was great. I'd love to get him back on, but I don't know whether what we could talk about. I'm sure there's films he's done that we could drill down into.
Probably could. But he has got a book as well. I mean, if you're interested in stunts, I mean, go and find it. We said internally that's this year's APA episode. If you've listened to, long-time listeners will know. Matt, your fourth choice.
My fourth choice is our Vickers Gun episode with Rich.
Ah, yes.
I like that one. That was great. It's always nice having Rich on, and
yeah, we love him.
Getting another one of those expert episodes to talk about appearances of a certain piece of kit in a film. I love that. I know I've chosen two now, but
that's fine.
I do really like that format, and I think it's really interesting. It's a nice break from just the standard let's talk about a film episodes.
And it gives you an appreciation for the item in question and how important it is, because obviously Rich is viewing it from he's the guy, like the Oracle on the Vickers. He's the guy, so he's seeing it from a completely different plane to everyone else. He's trying to work out whether they've beaten zones correct, or whether they've got a firing post in. Exactly. How's the guy holding the
using
belt?
the correct ammunition lighter?
Exactly. It's so interesting. And
what blank firing adapter is this?
Exactly. What cone has it got on the end of it? It's crazy. And shout out to Rich as well in his work for the 100th anniversary of the Vickers Machine Gun Corps that me and Matt did help on this year as well. And that was been some amazing history commemorative work there. It was really great to see. And I hope you all did partake in it at some point. And, you know, if you haven't, go back and look at it all because it was really interesting.
Yeah, Rob's done a load of videos on Machine Gun Corps VC winners.
Yeah. I keep forgetting what I've done. Yeah.
Yeah, over on his YouTube channel, Our Military History.
Super cut of all the VCs that were won.
That's like a feature length film. I mean, that's amazing what you put together. And without Rich, we wouldn't have had 16 Vickers machine guns firing.
Oh, we wouldn't have. God, that was incredible, wasn't it? Yes, it was.
Hello there. Sorry to interrupt. I wanted to let you know that you can now join our supporting cast over on Patreon. As thanks for your support, you'll be able to help us pick films, submit questions for guests, have first pick on brand new and exclusive merch, and much more. Thank you for your support. Now back to the show.
My fourth pick was when we went to the Fury experience at the Tank Museum back in March again. Don't know why all my picks are like early year heavy. I don't know why.
I don't know. I've got a few. I've got a few more that aren't. So
yeah. It was just another great day. I think it was the first event we did, like where we went somewhere for the show. Got on location interview with Davey Willie. He's really great guy. Thanks so much.
He's a filmophile. He's a cinephile, I should say. Filmophile.
Really cinephile.
Cinephile, and he knows his stuff. And it was our 30-minute chat with him was incredible. We're going to need to get him on for a proper episode to cover a film big this year,
without doubt. And we need to go back and if you're listening, Tank Museum, we'd love to do our top 5 tanks for your YouTube channel. We'll do it with war movie tanks. We'd love to do that.
If you've run out of people to ask to do top 5 tanks, we will.
If there's an A list, if we probably sit somewhere on the W to Z bit, but
the F list.
If you want the FOF list, if you want us for that, we'd love to do it. But no, it was a great week. It was a great day. We learned so much about the movie Fury. There was a really interesting talk on the Sherman as well that just added so much rich context. Hearing about what got cut from the movie. Seeing some props, being able to go up on Fury herself. I know they're running it again.
Learning what the museum added to the film and did on set was,
It was such a great thing. Really unparalleled. It was a great time, and everyone looked after us, and we felt so welcomed and really great. Just a great experience. But if next year, guys, if you're looking for something to do in March, you've got the money spare, please go and do it. It's really well worth it.
I don't know when they'll be doing it, but they'll be doing it again. I'm absolutely certain. And definitely. It's well worth going.
And the conservation centre, how fun was that?
Oh, that was great.
I got to look at a beaverette. I was like, made up. Matt turned the corner and there was like a ferret with side winders on, and it was like Christmas. It's like, Robbie, they've got this really rare side-mounted rocket. And I was like, there's an Oxford carrier there, like only one of a Cambridge carrier there, Matt.
Cool.
Bit more rare than your rockets. We were trying to one-up each other. It was hilarious. Anyway, but that was great, and another great episode. Matt, your 5th choice for top 10?
My 5th choice would have to be Rebels of PT-218.
Which has classic of the genre,
which has the single best bulkhead shot of any film.
Yes, it does. It lingers way too long, doesn't it?
Incomparable,
to
any other bulkhead shot of a film. The one in Longest Day with Henry Fonda. Wait till you see the Rebels of PT-218 do a bulkhead shot, Rob. Perfection.
Knocks the Weestrom attack into a cocked hat, camera-wise. No, I'm joking. No, it was a fun one, and that's the great thing about the show, as well. Yeah, and we say you can't do AAA movies, top-tier box office hits every day, every week.
Bulkhead shot in Greyhound.
Yeah,
no.
You've got to do the lowest of the low DVD releases just to get an appreciation of the genre every now and then. Yeah. But Rebels might be one of the most egregious takes of the year, I must admit. And then it blends into my 5th choice really well. We looked back at WINDTALKERS because it was in its 20th anniversary year.
Yeah.
And I just never had so much fun.
Ruins another childhood favourite.
I've got that in my notes. Because I somehow got it in my head that the movie was really good because I'd watched it as a kid, and obviously you don't know anything about movies when you're a kid. Fancy explosions and machine gun fire get you through, and you love it. revisiting that, I was like, what a car crash this movie is. Like, just just like just in terms of like the production of it is like amazing how much detail they put into it. And
Yep.
then what gets
And
on
the
the
scale
screen,
is
yeah, and
great.
the scale of it is incredible. And there's so, even down to like drum mag pouches, everything else like that. But and then the movie itself just such a damp squib. I mean, I got written down here. It's Matt's immortal phrase, John Woo shat his pants all over this film. And I think, and everyone who knows and has commented that to me and mentioned that to me in the months since, like, it's one of my favorite moments of the year. And I can never look. I've got the collector's edition steel book of Wind Talkers, and every time I see
I'll
it,
sign
I'm
it for you. I'll sign that for you. Don't
like,
worry, Rob.
no, it was a great one. And some honourable mentions, I guess. Now,
Yeah, I think for me, Pork Chop Hill is one that I
yes,
really enjoy talking about
that was a
and
classic.
examining, because it's a classic infantryman's war movie.
Mm.
And Peck in it is so great. Oh, and Hornblower too. Shout out to Hornblower. We
Hornblower,
finally
yeah.
did a swords and chivalry movie. Which we will do more of that in 23.
Yeah, we will try. It's finding ones that fit, because some of them are just swashbucklers and they're not really war movies.
Yes,
They're more sort
that
of
is
like
true.
adventure-y style. You got to choose them. I really enjoyed Anzac Month, I got to admit.
Yes, I've got that in my notes too.
Yeah, I was chatting KOKODA with Rob Lyman, and the odd angry shot's just a classic, and Rats of Tobruk, something I'd not seen as well.
Attack Force Z with Gavin was good too.
Oh yeah, that was fantastic. Hearing all the veterans, like memories of how they thought about that movie was so interesting. Yeah, Gavin's great, just a great guest. We've had him on a couple of times now.
I'm sure he'll be on again in 23.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. And just it's trying to remember it all. We've done so much. 84 Charlie Mopic. Love talking about that.
That was an interesting one to talk about.
That is a good film. Oh, Bridget Remarque with Peter Caddick Adams, because he's always fun
of
to have
course.
on. Yeah.
I mean, for me, my late year favorite is the Where Eagles Dare episode, because
goes without saying, doesn't it?
We've spent like 2 years going, well, we're not doing Where Eagles Dare right away. No way.
No,
we're not doing it. It's not happening.
The meeting we had to devise the show back in late 2020, we literally said Where Eagles Dare is going to have to wait. It was like one of the first things we said. Anything really, we're not trying to not do the classics, but anything really classic, we were like, right, that has to have a top guest, the right time, everything else. And then when we got the
and I've said this before, we're not doing Save It Private Ryan until we get Spielberg or Hanks or both.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Yeah, or someone who like maybe producer, someone like that. Anyone.
No, Rob, don't water this down. It's Spielberg or Hanks or nothing.
Oh, okay, right. I better get emailing then. But
if anyone's got their emails, do
no,
let me know.
Exactly. But getting Jeff Dyer on for that was amazing, because his book. If you've not read Broadsword Calling Danny Boy, the sort of like watching notes he did book, it's a real fun book, and just I'd read that.
Lovely little homage to it. Yeah, and he was a great guest for it. Perfect for it.
Oh, it was amazing, and the response for that episode's been unreal. We were
lovely.
I think we were in the top 10 or top 5 film review pods for like a good week because of the reaction.
I think so, and
like the exposure it got us is amazing.
Beloved film, and we really wanted to give it the due it deserved.
Yeah, exactly.
With a good guest, and Jeff was the guest that we always wanted for it. So it was a really great get by Rob to manage to contact Jeff.
Try my best, don't I? It's a shared effort. And obviously, another thing we should say before we wind down for the year and pop a few beers tonight and enjoy the new year, we need to thank the unsung heroes of the podcast. We need to thank Katie Maguire, my wife.
Absolutely.
We need to thank Lauren. How do you pronounce Lauren's surname?
McInerney. Lauren McInerney. She designed all of our t-shirts, and she designed the fabulous Broadsword Calling Santa Boy t-shirt from this Christmas. And she's also developed a brand new t-shirt for the new year.
Yeah, there's going to be a new one coming out. Yeah,
there is. So we're going to have. We think we might make this annual, and we're going to pick our 7 or 8, 10. I don't know how many we're going to do yet, but we're going to pick our top favorite films, and we're going to have them on a t-shirt. So wait and see for the reveal of that in the next few days.
Yeah, I've seen I've seen the draft for it. It's quite cool.
It's great.
I like the idea
love the idea. I'm gonna order one ASAP.
ASAP. And there is we got some good ideas for merchandise as well coming out this year. Well, as and when it fits, because we don't just want to keep plugging stuff away, because we're not about that. We want stuff to come out when it fits and when it feels right. Because we're not in this for the fame, we're not in this for the money. We just love doing it, and when we trickle things out, we really think it's worth your time and while for getting something. Anyway, but yeah, no, a huge thank you to the FOF team. I mean, obviously Matt, big thank you to you as well for putting up with me for another year. But no, it's a big team effort here at FOF HQ, and we couldn't do it without Katie, keeping the website going, all of that.
The technical stuff, technical
side of it. Lauren's fabulous artwork. It all really does help keep the wheels turning. And obviously to anyone last year, I mean, the hundreds of nameless people that took a chance on us, invited us to things, let us turn up and record an interview, or big thanks to the team at Goalhanger making us so welcome at We Have Waste Fest in the summer. That was amazing. We always feel like royalty there. I mean, you guys are so nice. We look forward to doing it next year. I won't say exactly what we're doing yet, because it's not been 100% confirmed, but had some chats and it seems like it's going to go ahead.
It will be good.
Exactly. And for 2023, I mean, shall we say what first film we're doing for 23?
Yeah, do it, Rob.
So the first movie, and we thought we'll ease into the year. We'll do something a bit more funny, a bit more sort of trivial, a little bit less serious. And we are going to look at, if you're a patron, you'll already know. But we're going to do 2008's Tropic Thunder, which is like a bit of a
very interesting film for a war movie podcast.
It's a genre sort of cliche bender, but it's also a pastiche of Hollywood and big budget movies and actors. So it's going to be a real fun one, and it's probably got the best minefield scene ever in a film.
That's a special right there.
It really is. Yeah, mines in movies. And then we have the week after. I'll just go through January now. We might as well
go for it. We've for once we've planned ahead. So
we have this 3 episodes in 3 episodes in
coming up.
So then after we have The Wind and Lion, which is a John Milius film. And Matt was like, "Oh, Rob, do you want to do a John Milius movie to kick off the year?" And I was like, "Yeah, The Red Dawn. Yeah, get in there. Come on." And he's like, "No, Wind and Lion." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Oh, Sean Connery
it's
playing
the
a bit of
only
a
film
shit."
where you could have Sean Connery portraying an Arab prince. So,
it's a
really interesting movie.
1975, isn't it, that one?
Yeah, it covers a period of history that is really important, but you never see in film because no one knows how to handle it. It's like a really colonial piece.
Well, if anyone can, John Milius will make it work.
It's interesting. It's going to be a really good one to talk about. And then, of course, the third one of the month is a supporting cast pick.
Yes, and at the moment the vote is still going on, so I won't say exactly what it is, but the choices are between Ill Met by Moonlight, 12 Strong, Corvette 225, and Sahara 1943.
What a smattering! What
I know.
Interesting selection of films that is.
August, a Christmas cheese board there, if you will. But no, I think I know what's going to win right now, but I won't say it just yet. But we'll put it out when we do.
I haven't looked, so I don't know.
Oh, I know. There's one film that is absolutely out there in front.
Okay.
And it'll be a good one. It's a classic anyway. So, I mean, yeah, another big thank you. In 2023, as we say, and we've got some really interesting ideas. We're doing groundwork for them now. We're not going to exactly say, so we don't want to announce anything before it's
before it's firm.
We don't want to get the cake out before it's cooked and it's all like gelatinous and horrible. So we're going to triple it out when we do. Obviously, keep tuned to FOF every week for your war movie fix. And if you're a new listener, welcome to the club. If you're a long-time listener, thanks yet again. And a great 2023 to everyone. And we'll see you in the new year on the 11th for Tropic Thunder.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.